Hey family, I'm Rob and I'm an addict. Wow. You know, this is something I've dreamed of doing since the first time I came here. I mean, that's pretty amazing stuff, huh? Dreams come true in here. I want to thank the committee, wherever you guys all are. Erica, for calling me, you know. Yeah, everybody, yeah, come on. These folks down here in West Virginia know how to throw a party, don't they? Wow. Year after, twice a year party. Yeah, you guys are all right. You know, I have roots actually from West Virginia. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, they were from St. Mary's, which is down along the Ohio River before my relatives swam across the river for a job, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, yeah. Oh, let's see. Good God. You know what? Erica called me. I was at work. I'm washing windows on the day that she calls. And I have like a whole store that I got to do all these windows. I relived 25 years of recovery, you know, all day. Like I'd get done and go all the way through 25 years and go right back to the beginning and start over again, you know. You know, because I don't want to disappoint anybody in here, man. This is the greatest show on earth. And if you believe in this, guys like this guy right here, you know, when I first come in, you know, would tell me that they had these multiples of years clean and that they'd stayed clean doing the things that he told me to do, you know, all the simplistic stuff that's just beat into our heads over and over again, the stuff that you get tired of hearing, you know, 90 and 90. How easy is that, you know? Get a sponsor, you know? And do what the sponsor suggests, you know? Don't be a rebel, you know? Yeah, whatever. Work steps. Work steps. And when you're done, do it again, you know? And keep going to meetings. Go to another meeting, you know? That's what's still working, you know, for me and my wife, you know? We've got a good, happy life because that's what we do, you know? We don't get into each other's shit, though. You know what I mean? She got her sponsor. She's sitting over there. I don't look at her and go, "You need to call your sponsor." I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. She don't do it to me either. I also want to thank my son for coming, or my sons. I got to stand up, boys. That's right. The one on the right, he actually ended up being a product of this place right here. Yeah. You know, this weekend, 25 years ago, okay, I came here. Okay. Okay. I didn't mean to go there, but anyway. Sorry, son. I drove an old Ford. I lived in Bright, Indiana, which is down near Cincinnati, okay? Just on the other side of Cincinnati. You know, that's where I grew up. I lived in the cornfields out there. You get whoever's from that. Who's saying A? Yeah! Oh, man. There we go. Bright, Indiana, in the house. That's right. Okay, you know what? And I had an old Ford truck, 72 Ford truck, and I'd heard about this West Virginia. you know, and there wasn't a meeting on that day. And I got up and I bought a case of oil and I filled up my truck with gas. And I'd, drive so many miles, I'd add another quart of oil, and down the road I went, I ended up using that whole case of oil before I got home. And when I pulled in the driveway, that truck never ran again. And that was 25 years ago, At that time, I was staying in the bunkhouse right behind here. And I still, at 1 year clean, was very insecure. I didn't like to be around a lot of people. It's taken a while of working steps and, actually stepping out of my comfort zone, taking chances, taking risks, the things your sponsor is going to tell you to do. Get up and, introduce yourself, let people know who you are. So I'm over there and I'm laying in my bunk. After this the dance was going on and some ladies show up and I hear them out there talking and I go out and I start talking and I meet my son's mother. Okay, and I end up over after a year, I'm going to tell you, we didn't do anything that weekend. I had 1 day short of being 1 year clean. This countdown, I thought I was so upset because I'm like in here, I'm like, oh my God, this is great. It's November 2nd that day. That's why I even know the day of that year because it was so horrifying and I couldn't stand up for 1 year. And God, I wasn't gonna stand up either. Back home, I'd seen somebody one time go, well, if like in 2 days I'm gonna have 1 year, and everybody was like, keep coming back. I ain't gonna do that. You know what? So if I stay clean till November 3rd, I'll have 26 years clean. Yeah, that blows my mind. It blows my mind. I was talking to somebody today. I remember the first person I heard share was a guy named Vito. A lot of people in here probably know who Vito is. And he was at Serenity in the Woods, okay? And I had just a few months clean when he shared there. And he shared about how him and his people at that time would meet in houses and the fear that they had to go through in 1966 to stay clean because, they would be arrested for doing this. We weren't allowed to congregate. We weren't allowed to be together in a room trying to get healthy. They thought if we got together, we were going to do dope, which for the most part is what we did until we decided to, right? And he touched my soul, man. He told me he had 30 years clean then. And I remember thinking, man, maybe I could. Maybe I could be like this guy. Just maybe I'm next. Yeah. This is the greatest show on earth. Tell me. Look at these people, man. I just love you people so much. I can't even tell you how much that I care for each and every one of you because you saved my life. You gave me a life worth living, and you brought me to a place like this and asked me to tell you who I am. A guy that at one point didn't feel worthy of life. At the end of the road, I wanted to die. I didn't want to go on. I didn't want the suffering. I didn't want the misery that came along with it. I didn't want to tell you how I felt because I knew how I felt. I wanted to die, That's how I felt. At the end of the road, my wife says, I came here. My first meeting was a meeting Aurora, Indiana. And it was in the basement of a Methodist church. A girl by the name of Janet met me at the door, okay? And she came right up to me and hugged me and welcomed me to Narcotics Anonymous. And I wasn't feeling very welcomed in my heart. She hugged me. And it was deep. It was deep felt in my soul. And she gave me this book. This book right here, which I stuck this sticker that you guys came out with, on this book, because this is the greatest book ever written. And that's a great sticker too, by the way. Yeah. Our primary purpose. We were talking about that. It seemed like every meeting today touched on our primary purpose. The first on page 10, it says our primary purpose is to stay clean and then carry the message. But first we got to stay clean. So I came into that meeting dying from cirrhosis of the liver. At the end of the road for me, it was bad. I used it up, man. I did everything. I took it all the way to the edge. I'd come out of my second coma. Doctors, met with me and my mother. I'll never forget this scene in my head, coming to, my mother's at the foot of my bed in the hospital, University of Cincinnati Hospital. She's crying. My sister's right here. She's crying. And the doctor, he's down here, and he's like, you're going to die. This is it. There is no more. And he leaves the room, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. This all started when I was like 14, like drinking a couple beers, and I had a great time. I used to love to have fun, And now this is where I am, And God works in funny ways. If you think through your life and you look at some of the things that's happened to you, and I'm sure everyone in this room's got a million stories. God, I'd love to hear them all. All of those stories ties into the God of your understanding. I ain't telling you who your God is either. I ain't going to go there. And he came back into the room and said, you know what? If you can stay clean, we might be able to help you. And there the story begins. If you can stay clean. And wow, that seemed like a tall hill to climb. Because I didn't know how to do that. It was proven that everything that I'd tried along the way did not work. I could not stay clean on my own. And I tried. I tried new clothes. I tried new girlfriends. I tried moving to new houses. I tried joining the army. I moved around. I did whatever I thought might work, And within a couple days, I was getting high. Couple days, man. I got high all the time. There wasn't taking days off. I got my ass up and went to work, so I had some cash so I could get high. That's how things went for me. And so I went to that meeting, that first meeting in Aurora, Indiana. And Janet showed me what life was like. And 8 months go by, and I've been clean. I'm clean. 8 months. Man, I hear these people, having 24 hours, 30 days, whatever, however many days you've been clean. Those are miracles. Those are miracles. You are a miracle. Those were the hardest 8 months of my life. I thought about getting high all the time. And I was working with a sponsor, Jimbo, which I need to mention his name. He passed away. He, my first sponsor, he crashed a motorcycle and died. But and he was a great guy. You guys would have loved him. Some of you may have met him here. My great-grand sponsor came in today. He's sitting right there during those years. And I got a phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning, okay? And they said, come on down to the hospital, University of Cincinnati, and we got your liver. Okay? So I got a liver transplant on July 14th of 96. And there started my new life. I went, when I went in there, my stomach was distended like this. I looked like I was 9 months pregnant. I had blood like my arms and all over my torso and my legs. I had these like spider web blood spots all over my body. My feet were swelled up like goddamn Bigfoot. I could walk through the freaking snow and people would be like, ah! I was horrifying, and that's the truth of it. I remember looking in the mirror, going, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" I mean, look at my son; he's a good-looking kid, man. And he got that from me. You know what? And I turned. It was what's in the Lord of the Rings? What's that guy's name? Gollum or Schmeagol? Okay, Schmeagol. Yeah, yeah, that's the guy. That's who I was. I was Schmeagol. Had the big feet, But you know what? The day after the transplant. This is a deep story too, because us addicts were everywhere. Okay, and I'm in the ER or the ICU, not the ER, and a nurse comes in, and it's like 8 o'clock at night, and she's supposed to come in and give me this pain medication. I just had a freaking liver transplant. I need something now. I'm dealing with a kind of pain. Ladies that's giving birth, that kind of pain, okay? And the nurse comes walking in, and she pulls that stuff out, she draws it up, and she looks around, and I'm like, oh no! I know what this chick's getting ready to do, man. She looks around, she fakes putting that shit into my IV and drops that thing right into her and walks out of the room. Walks over to even fakes putting it in the sharps container. And I laid there in that bed and suffered for the next 8 hours watching this goddamn, on the TV, there was a Sears window commercial. Yeah, infomercial fucking things that are on Sunday morning. I watched that thing on a loop for 8 hours in the worst pain that you could be in. But anyway, you know what? That's okay. It showed me another thing while I was there. She was an addict. I would have done it. I would have stole it. Of course I would have. Why wouldn't I? I moved to after I met this lady here. I moved to Cleveland, okay, and That's when my son came to be. And I know. I can't help it. That wasn't. You know what? He was born on October 25th, of 98. And you know where I was on that weekend of the 31st? You know where I was? Right here. My son was with me. Here. Newborn baby. Yeah. Oh, here, I got something to show you. I wouldn't do this. I'm going to show pictures. This is going to be like a show and tell kind of thing. This picture, which has got scribble marks all over because my son got pissed at me one day. And he scribbled all over because he knew this picture meant something to me. That's him at 6 months old. You know where we were? This was me holding him up for 6 months clean. Right there. That's some good stuff, huh? This place right here is highly special to those who want to get clean and stay clean. And if you feel that, you know what I'm talking about. If you're feeling nervous, if you're feeling that sick, that thing in your stomach and you only got a little bit of clean time, keep coming. Tell on that shit. Tell somebody how you feel. Don't hold it inside. So I'm up there in Cleveland, and me and my son's mother, it doesn't work out, and we end up getting a divorce, which is fine. You know what? God love her. We had no ill feelings. And I knew my beautiful bride from when I was sick. I was sitting along the Mad River at the Paddle to Recovery because my life has been all about recovery. That's all I do. I love this stuff, man. If there's some kind of thing going on, I'm going to it. I want to live my life. And that was before I had a transplant. All I could do was sit in a chair with my feet in the water while all these people were having a blast. But I was around the people. That's what mattered. This guy right here, we're at Paddle to Recovery one year, and he's freaking going around throwing firecrackers in people's tents. I thought they was going to posse up and kill him. Oh my God, the good times we've had. Oh my God. Anyway, I come back after I'm divorced and I go to a meeting and I run into her. And, we immediately hit it off, man. I moved her up to Cleveland. And so the story is told. Let me back up for a second. I don't know how long have I been talking. Okay. I'm in the Army. 1984. I'm in Wyoming. And I'm building this Bailey Bridge, this goddamn Bailey Bridge, and it's hot as fuck outside. I'm sweating and dying, and here, we're building this stupid bridge over just an empty culvert, And all of a sudden you hear, whoa, 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 whoa. These freaking motorcycles come rolling down the road. Just whoa, whoa. It's like it's happening right now. I asked my buddy, where do you think they're going? He goes, they're going to Sturgis, South Dakota. I'm like, fuck. Man, that sounds awesome. What I'm telling you about is Lost Dreams Awakening. Because at that time, I still was a dreamer at that time. I was a young man. I was in the Army. I was indestructible at that time. You couldn't hurt me. And I had dreams. And one of those dreams was that someday I'd own a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson motorcycle. Yeah. That's the motorcycles that I like. When I was 16, my stepdad, he was part of a motorcycle club, and he asked me if I wanted to ride his new bike. And I took it down the street and made a left, and I went on down the street and made another left, and 2 hours later I come back and he was mad as fuck. Once you get snake bit, there ain't no going back, man. And over time, I got clean. I was able to afford a motorcycle. I got this 1982, this green shovelhead. Everybody hates green. Fuck them. I had this I thought it was the most beautiful motorcycle in the whole world. And I rode that bike and rode that bike, man. Then one day I had a good enough job because I'm in recovery. And people tell me that I can do the things I'd like to do if I work hard enough. If I work steps and I listen to what people say and I go for the better job, I can get what I want. And I buy a new bike. And we first started dating. And I'm like, hey, you like go for a ride on motorcycle or anything like that? She was like, not really. She goes, yeah, my mother had ran into the back of a car and was paralyzed for the rest of her life. Yeah, see, I just ruined it for you too, didn't I? Oh my God. You know what though? We got engaged in Daytona Beach. I put my knee in the sand in Daytona Beach. Okay? We got married on Main Street in Sturgis, South Dakota. And we've been back. I had a sponsee that liked that idea, so he went there and he got married by the same lady on Main Street in South Dakota. We've traveled all over, man. It's been a dream. Honest to God. At the end of the road, my dreams were gone. I couldn't even dream anymore because all I thought of was getting high. Everything in my soul just wanted one more. Just one more. Okay, I told somebody I'd talk about this. You know what? There he is. You know what? I don't know if you've ever been near a buffalo, but if you haven't, you need to. We're riding through this storm. It had just hailed. It's a storm. And we're riding. Got a group of us. All of us are clean. Life is like that, And there's this freaking gigantic buffalo. It's unbelievable. I can't explain to you how big this buffalo is. And the storm's going on. This thing's standing there and there's steam shooting out of its nose on both sides. We're headed right for this thing. And the road curves right at it. And I'm like, yeah! I'm alive, brothers, sisters. I'm alive. And it's all because of this program. It's all because of this meeting. God, I love to look at the people here and see them smile and shake your head like, yeah, You got a lost dream, man. There's a lost dream in you. There's something you want to do. There's something when you were a kid you thought, I'm doing that shit. I don't care what anybody thinks. And you're going to do it. You're going to do it. I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to do it. I love my people from up around Cleveland. That's where we are. By the way, go Browns. There you are. Go Browns. Don't think I didn't see your jersey over there. All right. I don't know where that guy from Pittsburgh is, but nah. They're staying clean in Pittsburgh too. That's all right. Oh, I heard that who day. Oh man. What do I do today? I still go to meetings. I still call my sponsor. I talk to him every week. We have the same home group. I've got sponsee brothers looking out. He'll tell me if he sees something. I'll tell him if I see something. Damn right I will. I love that guy. Yeah. That's what we do in here. We look out for one another. Tell on each other. Ain't being a narc. Looking out for each other's lives. I was taught that shit by guys like this. I heard earlier that work steps or die motherfucker went out. That shit ain't good no more. Well, you know what? Fuck that. Guys like this taught me that shit's for real. I understand, we got to use kid gloves on people, that just came off the streets. They've been shooting dope and, doing shit that nobody else wants to do. Now we got to be real soft and everything. You know what? If you want to stay clean, you better do the hard work. This is about life and death. This ain't about kid gloves. And that doesn't mean that I don't love you when I tell you what I see. That means I do love you. Because if I don't love you, I ain't telling you shit. We got some good recovery up there. Well, don't we? My people, don't we? So if you all ever want to get clean and stay clean, Cleveland's a good place to do it. Of course, so is Cincinnati, so is Charleston, we're all over the place, we're all over the world. I'm in Sturgis, South Dakota, okay? We get married, okay, and we come back to the place where we're staying, the Buffalo Chip. So we're sleeping in this little tent, and the girls, there's Joanne, which is a close friend of ours from up there. She's been clean for I don't know how many years. Jesus, 150 or something. She's our resident old timer. Love her to death, man. She rides like any man ever rode, man. I ain't never seen nobody ride as hard as she does. She puts on more miles than most men I've ever seen, as a matter of fact. And we come back, they are like, we're going to nap. And I'm like, ZZ Top is playing tonight. What are you talking about? ZZ Top, you know what I'm saying? And all you got to do is walk over to the stage from the tent, and there's ZZ Top. So I go to ZZ Top. Man, I'll tell you, by the end of that show, I needed a meeting. Bikers, they don't care about me needing to stay clean. I'm telling you right now. So I go to sleep that night, and I get up the next morning, and I'm still squirrely, like man, this place is like over the top, you know. And we ride into Sturgis, downtown Sturgis. We park our motorcycles. I roll it back onto the curb. I get off the bike, and I turn and I look, and there's an NA meeting right here, right behind my freaking motorcycle. And it's getting ready to start. Tell me there ain't a God. Tell me that, I mean, Sturgis is a big place. And I just picked this spot to park, and an NA meeting's getting ready to start, and I need one. I don't know. Maybe I'm lucky. I don't know. I just... I'm a card player, and I don't believe a lot in luck. You know, you know what? I know that I've gone on long enough now. If you're new to recovery, give yourself a break. You know, go to a meeting, and then after that meeting, go to another meeting. And if you find out when you're in that meeting, you're like, man, I hate this meeting. That's fine. Every meeting isn't for you. Go to another meeting. And then find the meeting that suits you. And they're going to say, do you have a home group? You're going to go, no. And then they're going to go, you want to join our home group? And then you go, yes. It's that easy. They'll have you sign something. Don't worry, you don't owe anybody any money. It's like $1 a meeting. That's it. You don't even have to have that. You know what? In the beginning, I didn't have the dollars. And then just keep going to meetings. Watch your life change. Watch it get better. Watch all your dreams come true. You're going to live with a group of people. I've known her for 25 years. I've known you for 26 years. I've known my wife for 26 years. Pup was like I said, he's my grand sponsor from 26 years ago. Imagine that. I got friends that I've known, that I've loved, that I've shared intimate relationships with here. In this thing here. You know, I can honestly tell you guys I love you. And I mean it. It's not something, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass. I mean it. And if you keep going to those meetings, you'll have the best life you ever lived. It's my promise to you. You know, and there's going to be bad shit happen along the way. Don't get me wrong. It's like this. I don't want to live like this. Ain't nobody, you know, we're risk takers, and, you know, we don't live on this kind of plateau. So it's good for us to do this, you know. Right? Enjoy the dance. I'll pass.